right, guys, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I keep forgetting about this YouTube thing, making videos. I'm a couple steps ahead of where I left you yesterday. I got the tire unloaded. That wasn't an issue with the loader. I picked it up, no problem. I didn't have any weights on the back of the tractor, so it'll lift that off of the pickup truck. It was laying flat in the bed. I just stuck a bar under, put a block as an extra lever, got it under the block, wrapped the chain around, picked it off. The bolt-on hooks held. I just had it on one hook in the center and a 5/8 chain on 3/8 hooks. So it lifted it, didn't bend the bucket. We got it off. I did put air in this tire just to get it over to the truck. You can see the calcium running on the floor right now. This is totally shot. I don't know what I'm going to do with this tire and rim yet. The tire shot, the tube is punctured, the rim is rusted through. The only thing I can maybe think of salvaging would be the rim if I'd want to pay to get it welded up again. But for the price of the new rim, it's just, I got to find a place on the farm to just put this tire and rim assembly and just let it sit there till whenever. So, all right, I got it unloaded. New tires here. You can see the tread pattern is pretty much the same. I got all the bolts out. There's 6 bolts in this loop. So I got all of them out. There's nothing holding this on. Right now it's just the rim being pinched against the dish that has it held on. I used my cheap impact that I got. It's a Cobalt brand from Lowe's. I got it back in 03, I think. And it's kind of the go-to if I don't have an air compressor down here, and I figured that battery impact wasn't going to take them out. So I got all the bolts sitting there. So being that I can't do things one-handed here again, I'm going to shut the camera off. To get this off, I'm just going to take the sledgehammer and tap on the bottom and hopefully work it off of the dish and roll it against the wall here. For this being full of calcium, now granted, it's only a small tire, I understand. You can move pretty heavy stuff if you can keep it upright and roll it. I mean, we used to have like 18 438s that 2 guys could wheel into place and position if you were somewhere that you couldn't get a loader or a forklift. So as long as you can keep it upright, shouldn't be a problem. So it's going to be a little bit of a bear wrestling this onto there, but using the jack, if I have to let the jack down a little bit, roll it into place, set the dish on, and then jack it up, that way it's on the jack. Lining up the holes will be the next issue. Again, you can turn your center hub to line it up to, so you work smarter, not harder. So anyway, I'm gonna get this off, and yeah, I got a couple of steps ahead of myself. I gotta get used to this constantly filming everything. So let's get into it. Okay, that didn't go according to plan. Just one little tap on it. It fell right off, right on the ground. So hopefully enough calcium fell out of it that I can lift this up by hand. A little bit of CrossFit training, I guess you could say. Exercise, farm style, I guess. I'm pretty sure I can lift this. We'll give it a try. All you guys that are into CrossFit, you see people flipping tractor tires for exercise. If you want to take your workout to the next level, just go see a farmer, and they'll get you a nice 2038 or 2042 rear tractor tire full of calcium, and we can set it flat on the ground for you. And if you want to really boost your strength and endurance, you can flip that probably over the back 40 for a few weeks, and you should be pretty good to go. All right, so this whole dish and everything is soaked with calcium. The weather is not fit to get my pressure washer out and blast this off. So what I'm going to do, actually, just to keep some of the corrosion down that's on here, I'm going to get some oil and spray it on the rim. Just get some, I did wipe it off a little bit with a rag. I'm just going to take some spray on oil with a rag and just coat everything with this oily rag, just so we don't have any further rust. Get everything cleaned up before we mount this tire and put a brand new rim against calcium that's out in the open here. So, let's get into it. All right, so working by yourself, there's a couple things you can do. When something doesn't work out, you don't have the muscle or the manpower to muscle it into place. You got to use what you got and try to figure out how in the world you can do something. But when I rolled this over, the loops were actually here, so it was off. And for whatever reason, I couldn't get this center dish to turn. I couldn't get any leverage on. These lugs are too short to get a bar in. I'm trying to figure out how in the world I can get this thing turned. What I ended up doing was get yourself a long punch and get it close at least to one of the holes. Once I got it in one of the holes, the punch was all the way through to help hold the tire. Then you take a real long bar and you turn the tire using the floor as a leverage, lift up on it, and I was able to turn the rim and basically turn it into itself. I didn't have to go up and down on the jack. With that center punch holding in one of the loops, I was able to kind of roll it right where it had to go. So I got one bolt in holding it. I'm still a little bit off, so here again we're going to use the pry bar and get everything lined up and get this bolted onto the tractor. So just how it is when you're by yourself. It would have been nice to have somebody hold the tire. I could have got up on the tractor and started it and just let the center of the dish turn until I got it lined up, but working by yourself, it's not always an option. So use what you got, use what's here. You're the only one that's going to make it go on. So put a pin in to help hold it, and just muscle it with a bar. You can lift pretty heavy with a bar. If you get a long enough bar, you can have pretty much leverage. So shouldn't be a major operation, should be fairly simple. So anyway, I'm gonna get these bolts in and get them snugged down, and we should be in business here. All right, so from start to finish, it's about an hour to change this out. A little bit of fighting, but it's on, and the air pressure's good. So let's take a look here. Like I say, the tread is pretty darn close. Maybe just a little different, I don't know. Let's do a quick tread depth measurement and see how much tread is on this new one versus the old one. We'll just do a quick measurement here. This isn't scientific. Just to see kind of what we got here. Let me get the tape measure here. Just a reference here. We got looks like 1 3/4 inches of new tread. And on this one, I don't know, I'd say 1.5 inches. So, like I say, it's not scientific. I didn't have a straight edge on. But anyway, you get the point. Not too far off on the tread wear. Does look like, I don't know if it looks like it's leaning to that side. This tire might have a little bit more air in it than this one. So, if you guys have been following along, this Case International 395 that I bought, so far, what I've done to it, I got it home. I changed all the oil, filters, rear end oil, antifreeze, gave it the full service. I didn't change, I know I say this every time, I still didn't change the fuel filters. I'll tell you why I haven't done that yet. This has 2 fuel filters on it, and I only had 1 filter. And I want to change them both at the same time because shutting these shutoffs on the back can be a little touchy. I only want to do it once. These here are notorious for leaking, and if I don't have to dig into it and worry about it dripping all the time, I just want to shut them off once, change the filters, and be done with it. I know it might sound a little funny, but I have to get the other filter. There's a lot of equipment dealers having open house in the first and second week of February. You get 10% off filters. So I'm going to pick one up along with some other filters for the other tractors. I need a complete set for the 986 and some for the 685 already. So I didn't change the fuel filter. A long way to say I didn't do that yet. We straightened the muffler. You guys have seen my video on that. I had the loader valve rebuilt, the spool in there for 10 bucks. Now everything's working there. Greased everything. I changed one front tire here that was bad and dry rotted. That's changed. We got a new seat on the tractor. Still needs a little bit of tweaking here or there. Some adjustments at different things. Some different things needed to be adjusted, straightened out. We had the electrical issue that turned out to be very simple. So you've been following me, you know what I've done to it. So what I have to do to it yet, where am I at with it now? Like I said, we got to change those fuel filters, and the rear end oil I want to change again. Like I say, there was some moisture in this. It wasn't terrible. I've seen them a lot worse. I changed it once. What I want to do now is go outside. You know, when you drain the oil and stuff, all the hoses for the loader are still full. Your power steering hoses and cylinder, you can't get drained out. All the valves and everything, there's still going to be the old oil in the system, no matter what you do. So we're going to get it nice and hot, figure out a project. As soon as the ground freezes again, I have some more brush to push. I want to put maybe 2-3 hours on it with it running solid, get the oil real hot, bring it in here, shut it off, and drain it while it's real hot to get as much out of it as possible. I do have new oil to go into it. So we have to do that. I want to change the rear end oil, fuel filters. These tie rod ends are a little bit iffy. I mean, they're solid yet. And you know what? That's fine. I didn't see that. Just the boot is, I saw this the other day and I was like, oh man, but the boot is just rotted off from sitting out in the sun. That's solid. So, we'll let that alone. These here I have to finish tightening up. I got some of them. What else to make this ready? I have some more lights. I want to change these. This has one rear light on it, you'll see. It's the old style light. What I'm going to do is, you've seen my videos on the 685 and the 986 putting those LEDs on. This is going to be the same deal. We're going to drill some holes here and here. And we're going to put 2 rear facing bright LED lights on for the back. I have that canopy to go on yet. I was measuring that the other day. That needs some modifications to fit on this roll bar. That canopy is for like a 66 series roll bar. You've seen the 66 series with the roll bars. That's what that's for. So this is a much wider roll bar than that one will fit. So we're going to do some modifications to that to make it fit. It will go on here one way or another. So once that's installed, I have 2 more LED lights. Last summer I was buying LED lights like crazy. I put them on everything. And I had some spares in case I was going to buy that combine. The combine didn't work out, so now I have the spares. And I'm going to put 2 lights up in the front of the canopy, because those front headlights with a loader, you can't see when your bucket's up in the air. Your lights are shining on your bucket. So we get 2 LED lights up in the canopy facing forward, above everything, and 2 LED lights on the back. This will be a pretty slick tractor for, especially at night plowing snow, because a lot of times it is dark till I get out to plow the snow. Usually you're waiting until the storm's over to go out, and if people have to leave the next morning early, you gotta have the driveway clear. So I like plowing snow at night. I don't know why. It's fun. So anyway, long story short, it's not quite finished, but a lot of the major stuff is. The 4 tires that are on it are good now. If the tires that are on it now go flat, it's my fault. The oil and filter were changed. That's all good. The antifreeze is good. So stay tuned for more as I do more stuff to it, especially come spring when it's time to paint this thing. I don't know how fussy I want to get with a paint job. Paint jobs preparing to paint can eat up a lot of time, and can be pretty aggravating depending on how fussy you get. That happened to me with the 560. I wasn't gonna do a real good job, and the more I got into it, the fussier and fussier I was getting. And it turned out pretty good. It's not terrible. It's not professional. I'm not a professional painter. I'm a mechanic and a farmer. So we'll see. Probably what's gonna happen, we're just gonna sand this down. I have an orbital sander with tons of different pads. It's a little bit flaky here. We're just gonna sand it. Get all the flakes off. I'm not even sure if I'm even going to bother taking it down to the bare metal. I don't see a reason to. I don't have any sandblasting equipment. I'm not going to pay to get it sandblasted. So we'll get the rough spots off, primer it up, and I usually put 2 coats of paint on. That I will do, just to give it some more durability. Get 2 nice coats of paint on. The loader's going to be interesting to paint because I'm not going to take it off the tractor. That's going to be way too much hassle. What I'm going to probably do is take the bucket off, have the hoods all off. They'll be off anyway. Tape up all the hoses with newspaper and tape so the hoses stay black so I don't paint them red. Tape around where it's bolted to the tractor as best as I can, and put a sheet over or a tarp, whatever, over the engine so we don't get any red paint on anything. Put sheets over the axle, basically so you don't have any overspray everywhere. These decals, it's a shame these decals aren't nice yet. They're not peeling, they're solid. So if I really want to get fussy, I can put a piece of tape over it. You've seen me do it. Tape it and then cut it out with a utility knife and that way it's protected when you paint. So I don't know, that's for the spring now. It's nowhere near painting weather yet. So same with the fenders. I don't want to take them off. It's going to eat up weeks of time that I don't have in the spring. And if you're real good at taping, and I like to think I am, I like to tape things off, you could do a pretty nice job. So I'm sure I'll have a lot of people complaining and worried about the paint job, but again, it is a tractor. And it's not an antique tractor. And like I say, I'm going to keep this as long as I can. I don't plan to get rid of it. So I'm the only one that has to deal with the paint job if it's not nice. So anyway, guys, it'd be different if I was just spritzing paint on to quick sell it, but it's not getting sold. So thanks for watching, guys. This video is... this is a good place to end this video. So stay tuned for more. As I do stuff to it, I'll post some more.